How many opportunities died today? Not because you were incapable, but because you contemplated them for too long. You saw the message. You had the idea. You felt the urge to speak. And then you waited. You ran the simulation. You played chess against yourself. And by the time you decided to move, the board had already changed. This is the silent killer of ambition. Overthinking. The Stoics, the original masters of mental toughness, had a brutal solution for this. It was not meditation. It was not a journaling prompt. It was a weapon. I call it the 3-second rule. Here is how to stop negotiating with yourself and start acting like a Stoic. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Consider that. The pain of sending that email. Imaginary. The disaster of asking for the raise. Imaginary. The humiliation of starting the business. Imaginary. Overthinking is fear, wearing a disguise called preparation. You tell yourself you are being thorough. In reality, you are being a coward. Here is the physiological truth. When you have an impulse to act on something virtuous or necessary, your brain has a 3-second window before the amygdala hijacks the signal. In those first 3 seconds, you are a Stoic. In second 4, you become a procrastinator. The rule is simple. The moment you have an instinct to act on a right decision, you must physically move your body within 3 seconds. Count backward. 3, 2, 1. Move before the fear can rationalize the inaction. Let us examine how this defeats overthinking, using Stoic logic. Epictetus taught the dichotomy of control. Some things are up to us, some things are not. Overthinking happens when we try to control the outcome before we control the action. Scenario 1. You want to speak up in a meeting. If you think, what if they disagree? You are stuck. That is the outcome. You cannot control that. Apply the rule. 3, 2, 1. Open your mouth. Now, you have controlled the only thing you can control, your choice to speak. What happens next is for fortune to decide. The Stoic does not care. Scenario 2. You need to apologize or have a hard conversation. Your mind wants to script the perfect line. That is a trap. 3, 2, 1. Dial the number. Walk over there. Action kills anxiety. Thinking feeds it. The rule breaks the paralysis because it shifts your identity from the architect who plans to the artisan who does. You may wonder, what if I act and fail? What if the 3-second decision is the wrong one? That is the ego speaking. Kill it, Marcus Aurelius said. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. If you act in 3 seconds and it goes wrong, you learn in 3 minutes. If you overthink for 3 hours and do nothing, you learn nothing. The Stoic does not fear the wrong action. The Stoic fears no action. Inaction is the only true failure, because it leaves you exactly where you started. Miserable, safe, small. So, if you act and fall, you get back up. That is the 3-second rule for recovery. 3, 2, 1. Stand up. Try again. Overthinking is not intelligence. Overthinking is fear. The cure for fear is not confidence. Confidence takes too long to build. The cure is speed.